Humidity. Humidity. Good evening. Welcome to the August 5th, 2026 edition of Wednesday Edition. I'm Scott Leisure. Welcome to August 5th, the 217th day of the year. So, what is that? Like 148 days left in the calendar year, I think? Time marches on, as does another week of Wednesday Edition. We are all walking this journey together, like it or not. There are a lot of real doozies when it comes to people walking around God's green earth, aren't there? If you haven't noticed lately, there is a percentage of the population that are not doing a good job when it comes to everyone staying in their own lanes. In fact, I would be even willing to say that there is a percentage of the population that is batshit crazy. Can we at least all agree on that? If you're like me and try to abide by some of the productive topics we try to embrace here on Wednesday Edition, you are doing your best to stay in your lane. But even as we all strive to be 100% in our lane, it's a difficult task. Part of the reason? People keep swerving into my lane. Somebody else swerving in and out of traffic, running red lights, running yellow lights, cutting people off, and riding people's ass. There are a ton of outside influences that constantly are swerving into our lane, right? It only makes common sense to stay in my own lane. With all of the assholes out there swerving in and out of everybody's lanes, if I start swerving out of my lane, that's way too much swerving. We all know what occurs when too many people start driving willy-nilly. The word is wreckage. Wreckage can appear in many forms. It's time for us, as a close-knit Wednesday Edition community, to look to our handy-dandy Wednesday Edition dictionary and look at the definition of the word wreckage. Wreckage means the broken pieces or remains of something that has been badly damaged, destroyed, or sunk. It can also describe the act or state of being wrecked or a ruined, failed situation. Besides the wreckage left behind from assholes on the roads swerving everywhere, or the wreckage from a plane crash, or a shipwreck, or a tornado, or a fire, or someone out getting really wrecked last night. There is also emotional wreckage. People experiencing emotional collapse, overwhelming grief, mental exhaustion due to something traumatic happening within their circle. There are people experiencing financial wreckage, bankruptcy, debt, market crashes. There's always relationship wreckage, divorce, breakups, people abusing trust. We all probably carry some of that wreckage. And there is also career wreckage. We hear about that every day. Just open your phone. Misconduct, scandal, cover ups, criminal charges, accusations. That kind of wreckage can saturate our algorithms. At this time in the podcast, I would like to take a minute to remind everyone about one of the core values here on Wednesday Edition. One of the things that we can't repeat enough. Inform yourself. Do your own reading and research. Use the internet to broaden your thinking and to help yourself become more curious, more aware. Use your thinking as a defense against taking the first headline you see and running with it. Is everyone following along? If I, Scott Leisure, wasn't doing some personal reading and research, I might have scrolled past this little nugget that I want to share with you next. 7 states' water utilities now hit with cyber attacks, likely by Iranian hackers. Iranian hackers could be the name of my new band. I'm just saying. More than 30 water utilities across Minnesota were hit with cyber attacks in the last week. Minnesota, of course. This could be one of the broadest, most disruptive hacking campaigns to ever target American industrial control systems. The technology that connects digital software with physical equipment. Shut the front door, Scott. The FBI has also warned that the attacks have hit utilities in like 7 other states. The FBI did not mention the other states because, why would they? The FBI also left out details about the extent of the disruption, the damage, the wreckage the hacking caused. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, in its own advisory this week, stated that the attacks had, in some cases, disabled digital controls and resulted in boil water notices, suggesting potential water contamination. The FBI also warned that utilities should immediately take measures to remove from the internet digital devices that connect to physical equipment, known as programmable logic controllers. Protect them with a strong password and set up allow lists to only allow authorized devices to connect to them. So the FBI told them to disconnect, reconnect, and change their passwords. Got it. The leading suspect behind the wave of attacks remains Iranian affiliated hackers. The CIA has been tracking similar attacks since April, with the leads all pointing at Iran. But no U.S. agency has formally accused Iran of orchestrating the attacks. Trump, Trump, he came out and blamed Tim Walz. Trump says, I blame it on Minnesota because they are grossly incompetent. I mean, he's not wrong. Isn't that where they had all the fraudulent daycares? Remember? The ones with no kids? Somalia. He added that Walz is corrupt and Iran has bigger problems than worrying about Minnesota. Asked later if he could rule out Iranian responsibility, Trump said, I don't think there was an Iranian cyber attack. I think Minnesota ought to get its act together. So we have decimated Iran, yet they can still hijack Tim Walz and the Minnesota water districts and maybe 7 other states. Okay. From where I see things, my thoughts, my words, my rant, Minnesota has shown examples of not being the most tight run ship. I think that's fair. Walz responded to Trump saying that Trump is to blame because Iran is targeting the states in retaliation of the war in Iran. Mark Montgomery, an expert on water sector cybersecurity at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, which is a nonpartisan research institute focusing on national security and foreign policy, said Iran would be able to exploit defenses in the water and wastewater sectors because they are so porous to begin with. Many small and rural facilities don't have the budgets to employ a dedicated cyber professional, and both Democratic and Republican administrations haven't invested enough to boost the EPA's cybersecurity efforts. It's a problem that extends across 50 states and 4 territories. It's everywhere. And if Iran can hack into our infrastructure, I'm sure a lot of other countries can as well. Iranian hackers claimed last month to have targeted water systems in California in what they said was a response to U.S. missile strikes that damaged water facilities in Iran. So, what do? Who do you think is giving you the straightest story? Iran? 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 Tim Walz? Trump? Or could it be something or someone else? It hasn't affected us here in the Mile High City, but who's to say it can't? And who's to say it won't? Just what we were talking about. The Iranians, or Walls, or whoever, the hackers, are out of their lane and in someone else's lane. My lane might be next. I can't control the threat of Iranian hackers, nor can I control whatever is in the water coming out of my pipes. I can, however, do my part to help keep cash alive every flippin' week. Every flippin' week. Cash Friday is in 2 days. Do your part to help keep cash alive and stop by your nearest ATM on Friday. Pull out $20 and take that 20 and spend it over the weekend with a local small business or with an artist. Or spend $10 at a local small business and spend $10 with an artist. Last Wednesday, we briefly got into the discussion of COVID. Remember COVID? Also last Wednesday, Dr. Anthony Fauci, that Anthony Fauci, appeared before a Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee hearing, spearheaded by Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul. His real name is Randall, just so we're all together. Randall. A lot of stuff has been revealed about things that were happening when we were all staying home, when we were all keeping our distance, and when we were all wearing or not wearing our masks, when we were taking jabs or not taking jabs, when we were getting swabbed or not getting swabbed. There was a lot of money being made at the same time by a lot of companies and by a lot of people. I really don't see a way that anyone could argue that. Did you howl during COVID? Did your neighborhood participate? You didn't? You didn't howl at night at 8 p.m. during those first few months of COVID, and everyone else was outside howling too? Who remembers that? It was kind of cool and fun for a while. At the time, unaware as to how COVID was going to unfold, how businesses were going to be forced to close, how people were going to be separated from their family members, how we all started streaming funerals, and how people were dying alone. What in the name of MK Ultra was really going on? During the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, Zoom video communications experienced unprecedented financial growth. Its annual revenue skyrocketed from $622 million in 2020 to $2.65 billion in 2021, a massive 326% revenue surge. Everyone was having Zoom meetings. Even Alcoholics Anonymous online meetings increased. Pre-pandemic online meetings, unofficially in the 150 range, with an increase to 3 to 5,000 online meetings by the end of 2020. I bet you didn't know that. So this Senate hearing went on for a couple of hours, with Anthony Fauci repeating the same exact words, pleading the fifth 111 times. Yes, he was up against a majority of Republican senators there to brandish him for some things that have been revealed. And yes, there were some Democratic senators present that praised him for his work and thanked him from the bottom of their hearts. Some of you are going to be on one side, and some of you are going to be on the other side. What I know is usually where there is smoke, there's fire. I know that Anthony Fauci at one point was earning a higher salary as an employee of the United States government than the President of the United States. And I know that he receives a very healthy pension every year from the government, our government, right? I feel in my own Wednesday edition thoughts that he should have to also answer some of those really ugly questions about what was also going on during the pandemic. Besides everybody getting really sick. Questions that maybe he doesn't want to answer, with answers that might dampen a reputation, bring in fewer interviews and book deals. I get it. People will look at this thing from both sides for a long time. It won't bring anyone together. At this point, the wreckage from COVID is still with everyone. By the way, Fauci's annual pension is in the $400,000 a year window, right around the same yearly salary as the President of the United States. We said it a few weeks ago, and I think it holds true here as it has since 2020 and the discussion surrounding COVID. More will be revealed, right? With more stuff released and more people asking questions about the stuff that gets released, it generates conversations and it generates curiosity and it generates even more people asking even more questions. And in the end, more stuff gets revealed. Scott, get back in your lane, grab the wheel, check your rear view mirror, and steer the car as we head into this last story on a Wednesday and drive towards the exit ramp. Watch out for the guy with the sign and the three-legged dog, too. Why does every guy holding a sign on an on-ramp or an off-ramp have a dog with only 3 legs? You haven't noticed? Here is another burning question. Whose idea was it to bring back the mullet? Seriously. I thought the Gen Xers who started this thing in the 80s buried the god-awful thing and paved over it. No, it's back. So this is what I see with the mullets of 2026. If you are going to rock your 2026 mullet, this is what you also have to rock: a mustache and wraparound sunglasses. 6 on the top, 1 on the side, and don't touch the back. Am I right? In doing some very brief research on the hairstyle this week, there have been many similar variations of the mullet throughout the annals of time. Annals. In the 70s, Ziggy Stardust had a mullet. I'm not wrong. Mullets were banned in Iran in July of 2010. Just saying. If you're one of those 2026 mustache mullet Morgan Wallen boys, all I can really say is something that is repeated here a lot on everybody's favorite weekly podcast, Wednesday edition. You do you. Business in the front, party in the back. Do your part to help keep cash alive and Google these 3 things this week, okay? Number 1, Google MK Ultra. If you were completely lost and asking WTF when I mentioned it during that nasty COVID story, do a little reading. It's been going on for longer than you might want to know. Number 2, Google Iranian hacker, Minnesota water, Trump walls, all of it. Just type every one of those separate words into your Google search and see what comes up. Number 3, Google Ziggy Stardust hairstyle. And you tell me if that's not a mullet, all right? Remember, the price we pay for associating with the wrong people is enough reason for us to be stricter about who we keep in our circles, right? Don't exclude or include people in your circle just because they're vaxxed or not vaxxed. By now, whether you want to believe it or not, everyone has had COVID once, vaxxed or not vaxxed. Okay. Pound the gavel on this week's edition of Wednesday edition, all right? Here we go. The top 5 songs from August 5th, 1987. On August 5th, 1987, actor Matthew Broderick and his girlfriend Jennifer Grey were involved in a head-on collision in Ireland that killed a 28-year-old and her 63-year-old mother. Broderick sustained a broken leg and ribs, and Grey suffered from some whiplash. Broderick states that the only thing he remembers is waking up in the hospital. He paid a $175 careless driving ticket and was released. Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? So wait, he and Jennifer Grey played brother and sister in the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and they hooked up during the filming of the movie. Okay. Here we go. The top 5 songs, August 5th, 1987. I'm going to warn you right now that this week's countdown is not the best. Number 5, Rhythm is Gonna Getcha. Gloria Estefan and Miami Sound Machine. Big Wednesday edition thumbs up for Gloria Estefan. You thought I was going to bash on the Miami Sound Machine, didn't you? Away, away. Remember? At night, when you turn off all the lights, there's no place that you can hide. No. The rhythm is gonna get you. 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 Okay. Gloria Estefan, 1 for 1. Number 4, I Want Your Sex, George Michael. The video was heavily restricted on MTV and was chopped up to take out the blurred, naughty parts. He appeared in the video with a girlfriend of his because at the time he was bisexual. You do you, George Michael. Groovy song. Got nothing against George Michael or I Want Your Sex. 2 for 2. Number 3. Alone. Heart. I'm a big Heart fan. Alone is a good song. Really good live. Does Heart have better songs? Yes. Does Heart have worse songs? Yes. Anne and Nancy keeping the countdown perfect with Alone, 3 for 3. The number 2 song, August 5th, 1987. Still haven't found what I'm looking for. U2. U2 was at its peak with Joshua Tree. The music video in Vegas, walking down the street, still haven't found what I'm looking for. Not a bad song. It's one of those songs that you don't want stuck in your head, though. And there are much better songs on the album. I'm giving Bono a pass. 4 for 4. I guess this countdown is turning out better than I had originally thought. The number 1 song, August 5th, 1987, Shakedown, Bob Seger. Really? From the movie Beverly Hills Cop 2, Bob Seger is a legend. Love me some Bob Seger. Shakedown, not a fan. Sorry, Bob Seger. It's difficult to give Bob Seger a thumbs down, but some songs just grind on you. 4 for 5. Stay in your lane and do your best to avoid wreckage this week, okay, my friends? Use your pleases and use your thank yous. Drink your Iranian hacked water. Eat some real food. Do some research. And don't get trafficked. Remember, all of the editions of Wednesday Edition are posted on the YouTube channel. Wednesday Edition. Every Wednesday, 5 p.m. only on YouTube and scottleisure.com. Subscribe to the YouTube and message me if you want a free t-shirt. I do have a Bob Seger t-shirt. If the size is right, it's yours. Thank you again, Wednesday Edition community. Thank you again, Wednesday Edition Circle. I think the Wednesday Edition community all does a pretty good job when it comes to staying in our lane and avoiding wreckage. Good work, people. Let's keep it up. And don't forget that true approval isn't in a number or a click or a like. It's in yourself. It's in the way you handle wreckage in your lane, your wreckage and not your wreckage. Overcome obstacles, keep one foot moving in front of the other, stay vigilant, eat your protein, watch your back, and watch your friends' backs. Good night and be safe.